You have Frank Trigg fighting Sarah. You bring it back. Baroni, which Baroni's getting knocked out in other organizations and Strikeforce, where they cut him, and you're bringing him back. I mean, I don't understand the strategy of these older fighters coming back that seem to be on their way down as opposed to on the way up.
Yeah, well, we got both. We've got guys on their way up and guys on their way down.
But I mean, what is the person?
Guys that won't retire, guys that won't do this and that. There's a lot of different situations that I have to deal with, and there's guys whom I respect very much who've been in this business for a long time, and there's always this talk about I don't respect guys. Dan Henderson. Yeah, believe me, I show a lot of guys a lot of respect. Just because I wouldn't pay Dan more than anybody else doesn't mean I don't respect guys.
What is your looking back at the Henderson situation now?
I'm happy. I'm very happy with it. Couldn't be happier. Like I said, I pushed him to do that. I started taking shit off the table, and that made him make his decision to go with them.
Wouldn't he be an asset to have?
To them, maybe. Not to me.
Why is that?
Just because it's over with me and Dan.
Do you believe him when he says that he doesn't want to be anywhere else, that he's absolutely...
Dan and I talked the other day. We know where we stand.
So would Dan ever be welcome back to the UFC?
Dan probably won't be back in the UFC. No. He'll retire over there.
You've said all along you guys are friends, you guys are cool. Where's that
we were
stand
cool.
now?
We were.
So I take it that's not anymore.
We're still, he knows where we stand. I'm not sitting in front of the media talking shit about him. I talked to him on the phone. We talked, and I told him exactly how it is.
Knowing full well Strikeforce probably overpaid for him. At the end of the day, was that maybe kind of the point? They're going to overpay to get a guy like that.
Maybe. Yep.
Can you talk about the decision to cut Jake Rochelle? Because it seemed like he beat Chris Levin, fairly...
yeah, I don't know. Joe Silva makes a lot of those decisions with those lower-level guys that come in.
Did that one surprise you?
No. We have so many guys under contract, and you have to get these guys 3 fights in a year. So there's a lot more decisions other than this guy lost, so he's going to go. Guys like that, they get into the UFC, you lose a fight, and you go to a place like Strikeforce and get some more wins, and then come back.
Dana, what with the welterweights? You've got a title fight set up. You've still got the AK situation where they say they're not going to fight each other. Do you think it's ever going to come to a time where you're going to have to say to some of those welterweights there?
It's going to happen.
Guys are going to have.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen. Listen, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in the world. It's like fucking Shaq not wanting to play against one of his friends. It's a sport, and you're out there to compete with each other to see who the best is. It's not you're my friend and I don't like you if we fight. You're competing to see who's better. Imagine if certain baseball teams didn't want to play other baseball teams because they're friends. It's my friend. I don't want to see him lose. And give me a break. It's ridiculous.
Well, you could argue that the baseball team's not trying to punch the other guy in the head, though.
You're trying to win. You're trying to. Every baseball team wants to win the World Series. Every football team wants to win the Super Bowl, and every guy who fights wants to be considered the best in the world. And if you and a guy that you're friends with are 2 of the best in the world, and you're in the same weight division, you're going to have to fight.
Does it concern you? Are you hearing more of that kind of talk these days, or do you think it's in a few?
I ignore that kind of talk. You guys saw it the whole time with Jardine and Rashad. It's like, but they've never been in that position. I was asking what it would take for Fitch and Koscheck. What's it going to take for these guys to fight? Well, maybe a title. Okay. Well, one of you guys beat George St. Pierre. Okay, well, you want me to give you fucking George's belt? Beat him, and then we'll talk about it, It's crazy.
How much damage do you think has been done to the WEC because of the DirecTV versus issue? None.
They actually, they did the, off the top of my head, I can't exactly remember, but they're almost at the same subscriber base that they were before. So when this DirecTV thing works out, there'll actually be more people.
And Reed made some comments.
It sucks. It's not a good thing, but what are you going to do?
Reed made a comment publicly that he said he thought it was going to be resolved soon.
I think it will be too.
Do you know anything that...
you're talking about 2 massive companies butting heads. I'm not getting in the middle of that one.
And is this
I'm in business with both of those guys.
Will that NBC Comcast sale affect...
That'll be a big deal.
And how will that affect the UFC?
I think that'll be great. Doesn't suck.
because you might.
It's going to be big.
NBC has not been on your good side, right? Until recently, isn't that true?
Nah, they've never been on my bad side. There's nobody on my bad side in the network world except for Showtime. They're the only ones.
But I thought there wasn't there somebody at NBC that you didn't like, or you were for some reason I remember.
Not at all. No.
When they did that Strike Force little deal at 2 a.m. thing.
No, not at all. I actually had some real good relationships at NBC. It's Showtime. Showtime's the only ones that I hate.